Did you know that God has a book on me? Did you know there is a specific schematic for me? And nobody else has that particular plan. Just me. And all of my members were written in God's book before there were any of them. The genes, the chromosomes, the genetic pattern that makes me unique is in God's book. And that is me. When God raises me up, He's going to raise me up. Not these particular particles, but there is in God's plan a unique individual, a body that is organized around a schematic that God has ordained in eternity. And when God gets ready to raise me up, God will put in His heavenly computer, say, I want an Adrian Rogers, and up he will come. You see, God is a wonderfully great God. And I am the same person I was as a little baby, and yet not one particle that was in me as a baby is in me now, but yet I am organized around God's plan. Don't count God out, friend, when you talk about the resurrection. God gives us a picture, and He says it's like a seed. The seed that goes into the ground, it dies, it is buried, it rots, and yet there's a continuing life that circulates around a principle that brings out of that ground an individual. Now here's the third thing I want you to notice. Not only a perplexing problem, not only the plain picture, but I want you to notice what I'm going to call the particular people. Look in verse 38 now. But God giveth it a body as it hath pleased Him. To every seed his own body. All flesh is not the same flesh. Literally, all protoplasm is not the same protoplasm. That is, there's a different flesh, one kind of flesh of men, another flesh of beasts, another of fishes, and another of birds. That's a great scientific statement. That was put in the Bible before the day of microbiology. And that is that the different forms of flesh are different. Any physician today would tell you that the flesh of a human being is different than the flesh of an animal and so forth. And then Paul goes on to say here, before the days of our great telescopes, he talks also about astronomy in verse 40. And there are also celestial bodies and bodies terrestrial. That means heavenly and earthly. But the glory of the celestial is one, and the glory of the terrestrial is another. There's one glory of the sun, another glory of the moon, another glory of the stars, for one star differeth from another star in glory. Now what's he saying? God giveth it a body as it hath pleased Him. We are going to be particular people when we get to heaven. We're not all going to look alike. That may be comforting to you, that God is the God of individuality. God never makes copies. God always makes originals. No two leaves are alike. No fingerprints are alike. No snowflakes are alike. God makes no two individuals identical. And so we're going to know one another when we get into heaven. We're not going to be absorbed into some homogeneous mass, some amorphous nothing. We are going to be people and individuals. On the Mount of Transfiguration, there was Jesus and Moses and Elijah. Moses and Elijah had already died, but they're brought back from the other world, and the disciples recognized Moses, they recognized Elijah, they recognized the Lord Jesus. They were there prefiguring the resurrection of the human body. Somebody asked Charles Haddon Spurgeon, whom I've already quoted, will we know one another in heaven? He said, well, we know one another now. Will we be bigger fools when we get to heaven than we are now? No, the truth of the matter is we will really know one another. And my body, my resurrected body, will be different from yours. And your resurrected body will be different from mine. Now, here's a fourth thing that I want you to notice. Not only the particular people, but I want you to notice the promised perfection. Notice verse 42. So also is the resurrection of the dead. It is sown in corruption, it is raised in incorruption. Now, you may say, I don't want my body back again, thank you. I'm sick of it. I don't like my photograph when I look at it. And very frankly, I think I was behind the door when the gifts were given out. And I just wish I could get somebody else's body and not my own. Well, you may be a lot smarter, for example, than you think you are. You say, well, my IQ is not as high as it ought to be. Well, your IQ has to do with your brain equipment. And so you just need a better brain to think with. But doesn't mean you're not smart, just means you don't have the right tools to think with. So when you get to heaven, you have a better brain. You'll be a lot smarter than you think you are. You're going to be changed from corruption to incorruption. Verse 42, look at it. You know what the word corruption means? It means that which dies. I don't want to be gross this morning, but may I tell you what you're doing sitting there? Corrupting. Corrupting. That's what we're all doing. We are just sitting there corrupting. We are decaying. We are coming apart. It doesn't get better, folks. It just gets worse. Just say, this is as good as it's going to get. From now on, it's downhill. It's getting worse. Oh, you may put a little blip in it by taking some vitamins and so forth, but by and large, our bodies corrupt. But when we get to glory, your new body will be incorruptible. It'll be changed from corruption to incorruption. It will be changed from dishonor to glory. Look, if you will, in verse 43. It is sown in dishonor. We're sinful creatures. The curse of sin is upon us. It is raised in glory. There's going to be such a difference between what we are now and what we shall be. We'll be the same, but oh, how glorious we will be. Look at the cocoon of the repulsive caterpillar, and then look at the beautiful butterfly. Are they the same? Yes, they're the same, but they are different. Ladies, look at the diamond on your finger. If you have an engagement ring there or a diamond ring there, do you know what that ring is made of? It's made of the same thing that a lump of coal is made of. But coal and diamond are both carbon. Coal is carbon in dishonor. Diamond is carbon in glory. It's the same substance, but it is different. So many people have the idea that we have evolved and that we are on our way up. Man has not evolved. Man has devolved.